Hey guys, Ramsey here, and we are continuing on our journey to the Dark Tower. So I just recently posted the Gunslinger review. If you've watched that, if you haven't, go ahead and check that out. There's a playlist in the description that's linked that will have all of the Dark Tower videos as I do the reviews. They're all going to be spoiler-filled reviews, and then there is a spoiler-free kind of, hey, I'm going to go ahead and read this book series that will be down in the description, and you could get to that video as well. But this video is the drawing of the three, my current favorite of the two that I've read in the Dark Tower series. This book, man, I wanted to read this book every moment I had the opportunity. I'm glad I got the illustrated edition because the illustrations in here are magnificent. I love them. Just the ways they are described. I mean, you start off and Roland wakes up. I'll put this here. You start off, Roland wakes up, and he immediately is attacked by this lobstrosity, and they bite off his fingers on his right hand, which, as a gunslinger, that's, I mean, a death sentence. Luckily he has his left hand, but they bite off these fingers, they bite off a big toe, they attack him. He's, basically on his last legs. He has no food, he has no all his bullets have gotten wet from what's happened to him, and he starts traveling down the mountain. He knows from his meeting with the man in black that he needs to draw three people. He saw the tarot cards, he saw death, he saw I can't remember exactly what the tarot cards were, but so he's walking down the beach and he comes upon a door. Now you look around this door and the door disappears. So obviously it's a door that is a magical door, and written on it is the prisoner. So he goes into that door and he's in the head of a heroin junkie who is transporting drugs on a plane. And the time period's really important to this. So he's a coke mule. He's got cocaine taped to his body on a plane heading to New York City from the Bahamas. And so Roland steps into his mind, and there are words that don't make sense. So he's he's really, really hungry. So he jumps into Eddie's mind. He's like, I need a poppin'. He's like, the lady's like, I don't know what that is. He's like, oh man. And so he searches through Eddie's mind. He's like, a sandwich. And she's like, okay, I'll make you a tuna fish sandwich. He's like, ah, yes, Tudor fish. And I found myself laughing. I found it one of those really, really exciting, you're getting to know Stephen King's humor a little bit. And so he takes it back and he's enjoying this tuna fish sandwich where he's like, oh man, that Tudor fish was amazing. And then he has a moment later where he enjoys a Pepsi. And he's like, it's so sweet and amazing. Why would you do drugs? You have Pepsi. And I found just the difference in what one culture might think. Imagine time travel, I guess, because that's basically what it is. I mean, he's an old West gunslinger, but in Midworld, their worlds progressed and moved on from where we are. So the 1980s Coke, live it up, big, wonderful 1980s New York is a culture shock for Roland as he travels around in Eddie's mind, and he needs medicine because he's been attacked. He needs penicillin, or he takes some aspirin, and they really, really help because he's getting a fever. So I just found then him and Eddie really connect. Their conversations were fantastic. The naked gunfight was a blast. I just really, really enjoyed Eddie's section. So then Roland brings Eddie through the door. The door closes, door goes away. Eddie's there with Roland from then on. They keep walking down the beach, and they come upon Odetta. And Odetta is a black woman who is fighting for civil rights back in was it 1950s? She was big with the Freedom Riders down in Oxford, Mississippi, if you know that story. So it's right at that time, right there. But she is a schizophrenic. She had a multiple personality. So there's Odetta, and then there's Detta. So I think it's Odetta Walker and Detta Holmes, but they have a similar middle name. And one is a very angry, racist black woman who's like, "I will cut you, I'll kill you, I don't care who you are." I think she calls them like honkies and crackers and all that kind of stuff. So she thinks that they are trying to poison her and kill her. But then Odetta is like a more adjusted person who she's fighting for civil rights and doing all this kind of stuff. And um, so they don't know about each other, and that was a dynamic moment where you look at how Odetta and Detta didn't understand who the other one was. They would blank out. I think Detta knew more who Odetta was, and she kind of knew that she needed to beat Odetta to keep control of the body, right? But she was pushed in front of a subway car and had her legs cut off at the knee, so like right above the knee. And so she's in a wheelchair, like a 1950s wheelchair, so like a heavy, bulky, huge wheelchair. So when she comes over to our side, or well, to Midworld, they're on a beach. Have you ever tried to roll something on the beach? I mean, it's not fun. It's not easy. So they're rolling Odetta down the beach, and she's amicable, she's nice, but Roland knows there was something going on, that the woman he went into her mind and immediately took over because Detta was in control of the body when Roland came in. She's called, her door had the Woman of Shadows on it. I didn't mention that. But so Roland hops in, realizes that Detta is a horrible person, like angry, mean, awful, would kill him without a second thought. Like the only reason she would wait to kill him is so she could get more people to come to him and kill two of them. Like that's who Detta was. But Odetta was like sweet and kind and caring and giving and loving. They're literally polar opposites. And so brilliant like process there. So when she started to get a headache, she would switch personalities. So Detta took over for a good bit of the travel, and Roland didn't get enough medicine when he was with Eddie's world. And so he's coming, and he's like, all right, we're moving, we're going, but Roland keeps getting more and more sick, and they know they got to get to a third door. Eventually, Detta gives up, and Odetta comes back, and Eddie and Odetta fall in love. Real quickly fall in love. They just, something about their character together, they just immediately fall in love. But Detta hates them both. And so she is like, all right, let's go. And so Eddie and Odetta travel down the beach to the door, and they get there as fast as they can. And then he takes Odetta and is like, all right, here, stay here. Roland tells him, don't let her have that gun. If we get back and that's Detta, she's going to have a gun, and we're going to be even in worse shape than we were before. And then so Eddie runs back, gets Roland, because Roland can't even walk. He's so weak from fever and illness or whatever, and runs him back. Odetta's gone. We learn through the narrative that Detta's up on the hill with the gun, just watching him, waiting for him to make a mistake. So Roland knows he's got to get in the door, get some medicine, or Detta's going to come down and kill them both. So he goes in, and it is the guy who not only pushed Jake in front of a car and killed him. He is the guy that dropped a brick on Odetta's head when she was a little girl and caused her schizophrenia, and then later pushed her in front of the train and got her legs cut off. All of these things this guy had done. He was, what did they call it? His door was labeled the pusher because he pushed Jake in front of a car, pushed Odetta in front of a train. He was the pusher, right? So as he steps in the door, he realized, this is not one of the three I need to draw. I am the third person. I am death. So Roland then is using this guy to get him everything he needs. He gets guns from two police officers that he dupes. Really, really fun. He's so excited because he goes into a gun store and he's like, I need to buy these bullets. He's like, okay, how many do you need? He's like, well, like a box? He's like, yeah. How much is in a box? He's like, 50? He's like, what? There's 50 in a box? Do you need me to pay with like raw gold? He's like, no, it's like $24. He's like, I'll take 5. So he's like, wealth of bullets that he's in Midworld he could never find, right? So he buys like 5 boxes of bullets and then dupes the cops, so he gets a gun for Odetta and for Eddie. And then he's ruining this guy's life. He and I'm glad he does. But he takes him, gets in a shootout, goes into the store, the drugstore, right? Yeah, drugstore. And the guy's name is Katz. So if you know anything about it, or no, what is it? 11 to 2263. That guy's name's Katz too. I think, yeah. So 11/22/63. Katz is the pawnbroker in. Is it Derry? I think he is. I think he's the pawnbroker in Derry when. Yeah, he's the pawnbroker in Derry when he goes and is up there dealing with that. So, love the connections. I'm hoping to get more. Yeah, that's got to be. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up and make sure. If I'm wrong, I'll change that in the comments and let you know. But Katz was a name that I do remember quite well. So with the Katz connection, I was really excited about that. The 11/22/63 reference where he meets Katz and Derry. So, but you get to see a really cool moment where Roland literally shows off his marksman ability with guns he has no experience with. He's using the cops, I believe 9mm or 38 special revolvers, maybe. I can't remember exactly what weapons they had, but they'd probably be a 45, right? Yeah, they'd be a 45. I think police issue 1980 cop revolvers, I think, were 45 Smith and Wessons. I think is what they were back then. But the thing that I'm really excited about with where we're going with the story is he took the guy, the pusher, and he took him to the same exact subway station where Odetta was pushed in front of the train, and then he catches on fire, which is kind of cool. So the man's body's ruined. He runs over, jumps on the same tracks that Odetta was cut by, and then he calls Detta, because Detta's in control of the body, and she's looking in the door, and he's like, Detta, look what I'm doing. And her and Odetta are both looking at Roland killing the man that ruined her life as he's coming back out into the world. And Detta and Odetta come together and then make Susanna, who they shared the middle name. Odetta and Detta shared the middle name Susanna, so she becomes Susanna and is a whole person again, healed by him, both of them seeing him coming out of the door and how much he cared about her and how much he was growing to love her. And it was beautiful. It was wonderful. The scene was so great. And I'm so excited for where this story is going in Wastelands, which I've got it. I'm going to read it in October. Man, I'm having so much fun with the Dark Tower. Like, from the way I felt with the Gunslinger and now how I feel with Drawing of the Three, I am just delighted by what I've experienced in this book. This book is magnificent. If you had a bad experience with Gunslinger, read Drawing of the Three. If you want to read the Dark Tower and you're like, man, I don't know, start with Drawing of the Three. It'd be a great place to start with because it's just so stinking good. Why am I saying that? This is a spoiler-filled review. No, people don't watch this video and then read Drawing of the Three. Just read Drawing of the Three because it's amazing. Don't let me spoil it for you because the everything that I knew nothing going in, and I'm so thankful that I didn't. This is great, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what you thought about Drawing of the Three. Tell me what you think about this video, and then as soon as I get it ready, Wastelands video will be linked in the description. It will be on that playlist that is down there. Thank you guys. Join me on this journey. If you want to read with me and you just want to do some buddy reads on the Dark Tower series, I'm down. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. I'm loving it, and I can't wait to keep going. See you guys. Bye.